he said, now don't laugh, but these are burgers, and those things you see in there, they're cornflakes. And I said,
the burgers.
I said, as in the cereal? He said, yep. I thought, boy, I'm fixing to learn something here today.
Oh, boy.
This 11-year-old boy that he was the son of kind of one of the ministers there, not the lead pastor. The lead pastor was on sabbatical, so that's what opened the door for me. But you know how you feel better about a dad when you meet their son? I love this little 11-year-old kid. His name was Cooper. He asked the right questions. But I forced myself, because in me explaining, I have one of those hats on. I don't have one on today. I don't even know what hat I have on. I have one that had the little gospel diagram. Mm-hmm. And I said, do you know what that means? And he went, no, sir. I was like, well, you need to learn what that means. I'll explain it to you when I speak. And so then he asked me to sign his Bible. And so in the margin, I put 3 questions. Of course, then I signed it. And I put this little symbol. I said, I'm going to explain that. So he was like, well, what are the 3 questions? I said, well, I was going to see if you noticed that, because I'm going to give you 3 questions. Because I told him the story that I taught the junior high for 11 years at our church. Number 1, because nobody else wanted to do it. But number 2 is because that age, they're like sponges. Like this little kid, he asked me so many questions, but they were spiritual questions. And actually, when I left and got on my departure flight, he led the prayer for our safe travels, which was pretty impressive. You know,
how old did you say he was?
He's 11. His name's Cooper.
Yeah, it's the same age as Dot, my grandson.
Me and
He's
Cooper,
exactly
me and Cooper got to know each other because in a weird set of circumstances, after the event was over, I couldn't go back to the hotel. Their airport was really small, and so the guy working for the church was like, do you want to come over and have lunch with my parents? And I was like, sure. And so we did. And they were lovable, salt-of-the-earth people, which Bonnie, she snapped her head at me because 99.9% of the time, I'm never going to say that just because we're kind of food snobs, and I'm not sure where this is headed. But I'm telling you, that boy, I thought, this boy, somebody been doing some parenting here, and I want to see how that sausage was made. Let's go meet the grandparents, you know. And the only weird thing about that encounter, because it was lovely the whole time, and they were grilling burgers. I was like, can't screw up a burger. So I went back there and inspected the food. As soon as we got there, everybody went inside. I went out back because I saw the smoke. And I was like, I'm going to go find the griller. and Grandpa was grilling. And look, Al, when I saw these burgers, it immediately took back. I went back to my dad because he used to, when he grilled a burger, you remember what he would put in the meat?
He put onions in
He
there.
put onions in. Now, and I didn't like the size of the onions. I made an adjustment to that when I left and cleft. But I thought that's what it was. And I thought, oh, this brings back memories here, you know? Mm-hmm. And I said, what you got going here? And he said, I'm grilling burgers, and I got this from my mom, her recipe. And I said, look, I think I know what this is. And he said, I don't think you do. And I stopped because I thought, well, it looks like burgers with onion, and they look good. Look like little pieces of onion. He said that. He said, now don't laugh, but these are burgers, and those things you see in there, they're cornflakes. And I said,
the burgers.
I said, as in the cereal? He said, yep. I thought, boy, I'm fixing to learn something here today.
Oh, boy. Now you're beginning to wonder if these might not should have called that invitation.
But it looked, they look so good, the grilling, and he grilled them to perfection. And so when I ate it, what I realized, it tasted great. And I thought, a cornflake's kind of unnoticeable as far as taste. In fact, of all the cereals I've ever eaten, I've always thought that to be what is a cornflake? It does
because if you didn't have something to add, you got to put something add to that,
so
right?
Just my take on it was the burger was perfectly fine. I consider it tastes fine. I would have never known those were cornflakes had he not told me. It was not noticeable.
Once you find out, I would have been a little bit. I don't think that I would have liked that.
Well, you would have had to just not like the idea of it.
Yeah,
because I'm telling you, the only way I knew that there was a cornflake is every once in a while I got a little crunch. And I thought, I guess his mom.
See, I'm out on the crunchy burger.
I mean, when I was like 6 or 7 years old, I used to take a bag of, some Doritos or something and just dump it on my burger and just eat it all. But when I became a man,
you know what it is when you do that, to have it I'll say this about the cornflake situation. Their marketing campaign is brilliant, and it's actually true because I haven't eaten them in years. But every now and then, Jill will get them. I don't know why. I mean, I'm talking like over the course of 25 years of marriage, there's probably been, I don't know, maybe 4 times that she's bought cornflakes for something, and it's typically like leftover, like they do the casseroles at Thanksgiving. They put I mean?
Yeah, they do them like on squash and stuff. There's different recipes that call for them, yeah. And now I guess hamburgers, yeah.
You guys have so I've stumbled across them probably 4 times just out of kind of like a necessity. There's nothing to eat. I mean, we got Jill had gone to the grocery store, and I go in the pantry. There's nothing in there because my kids are like locusts. They just consume things so fast. But the one thing they don't want to touch is the cornflake. They won't touch it. So it does survive in my house longer than any other kind of food item.
That's probably the origin of the cornflake burger. No one would eat them. So his mom said, let's put them in a burger because you can't screw that up, which is true. And
it's hard to screw up a good burger.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
but here's the deal though. I mean, this is true. I mean, it's their marketing message is true because every time I've out of necessity, I said, I'm just going to eat a bowl of cornflakes. And I get my bowl out, assume we have milk. I want to eat it without milk. If we got milk, I'll put the cornflakes in. I put the milk in. I'll sit down at the table, and I'll take a bite. And every time I'm like, you know what? These are actually, I forgot that this is good. Like, it's good. And you forget, which is their campaign, taste them again for the first time. And every time I eat cornflakes, I'm like, yeah, I forgot. Like I mean, they're not bad. They're as a cereal. You put them in a burger.
I'm starting to realize why. You know what the number one question when I go out in public, and I got it 3 times.
What's that?
In North Carolina about you. You know what the number?
What do they say?
You know what the number one question is?
About me?
Yep.
What is it?
This is number one question. They say, "Where's he from?" And it just occurred to me now after listen to your dissertation on cornflakes why they asked that.
Why they asked that? I'm not following. What are you saying?
Well, I'm not saying anything. They asked me where you're from, but I've always been puzzled by that.
He's not putting value in that, Zach. He's just saying that's what they say.
That's what they say.
I was born in Florida, North Florida, moved to Louisiana, back to Louisiana with my parents, where they met. And then we moved back to Florida, and then I moved back to Louisiana. So I'm kind of I kind of count both, but you got to keep in mind that like we were poor, and y'all.
So were we, Zach.
Yeah, but y'all were poor, but I feel like we were more poor.
Because you were in ministry. You were in ministry poor.
We were like, I was wearing all of y'all's leftover clothes, and my mom had no like.
What's the funniest thing I've ever heard? I asked why people ask where you're from, and you said we were poor.
Well, we were poor. I mean, and so like I would come to your house, and y'all had like Fruity Pebbles, didn't you? Yeah, you had your mom. Kate always had she had all those good cereals. We didn't have all that stuff, man. But we were hitting the cornflakes.
But the point is, we were poor, but we ate good.
I did eat good. We were just poor, and
my parents, both of them. We talked about this on a recent podcast, Jase. I would not this specific thing, but you kept talking about first fruits. Our parents had a first fruit mentality. when it came to feeding us is we didn't have much, but we got the best of what we could get.
I carried that tradition into my family because
me too.
And my wife, it caused her a lot of stress because we just broke the bank at the grocery store, and she just got to a point where she would not let me go. She was like, because you buy all the most expensive things. I'm like, we're going to eat good no matter what.